won't save a thing.
Sitka's not a carbon sink.
Sitka's not a carbon sink.
Sitka's not a carbon sink.
These cash crops won't save a thing.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! This Sitka spruce has got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! This Sitka spruce has got to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, in Ireland, we have the second lowest forestry out of all the countries in the EU at only 11%. A huge amount of that is Sitka spruce commercial crops, which create ecological dead zones and remove natural forestry. This cannot go on any longer. Just yesterday, we found out that this morning the Save Leitrim community group were making an action right here in front of the Dáil on the exact same issue. Because two completely independent groups have found the exact same problem and decided to act on it on the exact same day shows just how bad this problem is. Can we hear a cheer for the Save Leitrim community group? We have made a number of demands. We need a strategic framework aimed at the just transition of small-scale agriculture to practices of sustainable woodland, which help farmers transition in a way that helps them. We need a massive reduction in monocultural plantations, such as the Sitka spruce, in favour of indigenous species. And we need a fundamental shift in woodland practices from current commercial practices to a holistic approach. This approach should promote continuous cover forestry through a network of semi-wild areas and small farm forests. The government has abandoned so many farming communities and so many rural communities. We need a framework that helps support them. We need action!
Sitka logs! All for selling Sitka logs! All for selling Sitka logs! All for selling Sitka logs!
Sitka's not a carbon sink.
These cash crops won't save a thing! These cash crops won't save a thing!
Sitka staff Major Craig of Leonohead. Sitka came in maybe 50 years ago, maybe 60. Tá an dair agus na crín dúchas eile fitte foitas an nádoir is part doing it, is part an carp iad, is part an ishki iad, is part an airiad. Deciduous trees are part of our body, they're part of the water, they're part of the air that we breathe. They are our heritage, they are in our DNA. Nuair a thugam í drudéigent ó tí ó áit éile sa dawan agus denimí dír of arrogant a dhéanamhas trúil sin. When we take something from another part of the world and try to grow it here and try and make a profit from it here, it will slowly pollute us. Nílach an taim slí amháin contact réitach an ggéirchéim. So there is only one way of coming around this emergency, and that is to return Gadí na Rudí Duchasacha, to return to our native deciduous trees. Mar sin, na dair agus na crí.
Hey, we have a demand!
We need native woodlands!
Hey, we have a demand!
We need native woodlands!
Hey, we have a demand!
We need native woodlands!
Hey, you know this well! Leitrim's just not yours to sell! Hey, you know this well! Leitrim's just not
Save Leitrim Campaign is about the forestry policy in Ireland, which is currently having devastating effects on our county in Leitrim. So it's having several different impacts. It's having impacts on the environment, on our communities especially, socially, economically. It's having effects on biodiversity, our water system, ecosystem. It's absolutely decimating our county. And it's very hard when you're standing here, or for the TDs or politicians here in Dublin, to understand what it's like in Leitrim if you haven't come down and seen it. But no matter where you stand in County Leitrim, on a horizon or right up against you, there will be a Sitka spruce plantation. So we want the right trees in the right places, managed in the right way. We need a complete overhaul of the forestry policy, and it needs to be stopped now while they plan.
So the monoculture Sitka spruce dominated so-called forestry is really greenwashing and anti-environmental and anti-social.
Yeah, it is, and we've invited the Minister down to speak with us, and he hasn't obliged. He's come to Leitrim several times to meet with the forestry industry. We ask him to meet with us and listen to the people of Leitrim.
Right.
Like, we're not making these stories up just to cause trouble.
Yeah.
We're living in it. You know?
Yeah.
And it's one thing to be looking at it from a distance, but when you're surrounded by it and you're living in it and dealing with it, and I want to have a future in my county and for my future
So
family.
what do you see then with reformed forestry policy or a reformed land use policy in this country?
Well, I think it's something that we need to discuss with the Minister. Like, how are we ever going to get anywhere if it's just our ideas, his ideas, and this big barrier between us like today? So I would love to see, for me personally, I would love to see the right trees, the right places, managed in the right way, but also a celebration and an enhancement of high nature value farming. That has to happen, because our land in Leitrim is always described as the worst land and it's fit for nothing else but planting, but that's not true.
And did the Minister come? No.